So far, I have worked with the Room database library and touched briefly on the live data component. Now, I will move to the view model. A view model class stores persistent data in memory and manages your business logic. One of its greatest advantages is that a view model survives changes in configuration, such as when a device changes from portrait to landscape orientation and back again. So, it reduces the need to deal explicitly with lifecycle events. But even more importantly, it lets you segment your code so that only code dealing with visual presentation remains in the activity and all the other logic goes into the view model. I will create a new package from my view model classes and I will name it view model. And then I will create my first view model class. I will name this class main view model. You will have one view model for each activity or fragment, and I will set its superclass to Android view model. The first thing you will need to do is to create a constructor. I will use an intention action for that, and I will create a constructor matching that superclass. Now to use the view model, I will go to the main activity class and I will declare a reference to it here as a field. The type will be main view model and I will name it mViewModel. Then I will create a special method to create that object and I will call it initViewModel. That method doesn't exist yet, then I will use an intention action and create the method. Within the method, I will set the reference to mViewModel using this code. I will start with the class ViewModelProviders. From there, I will call the static method of, and notice you can pass in either a fragment or an activity, and I will pass in this. Then I will call .get, and I will pass in the class I want to use, mainViewModel.class, and that's all there is to it. Now, notice you are not instantiating the view model directly. Instead, the provider class handles that for you, and that is how the application component is passed in. Now I will test that code and make sure that the app is still launching correctly. And there it is. The app is still working, so that's great, but we haven't done anything with the view model yet. The most important thing you will do is manage your persistent data. I will create a new public field. It will be an instance of the Java list interface and it will manage instances of my node entity class. I will call it amNodes. And initially, I am going to get the data from the sample data class, calling the getNodes method. Eventually, I will be getting this data from an SQLite database. But this is a good intermediate step. Now I will go back to my main activity and I will find the code where I am loading the data in the activity. I am calling nodes data.addAll, and now instead of getting the data directly from sample data, I will get it from mViewModel.mNodes. So I have simply added and the layer now doesn't know where the data is coming from. It just says to the view model, I want the data. Right now, the view model is getting the data from the sample data class. But later on, when we change that to get it from an SQLite database, we won't have to change what happens in the activity. I will stop the app on the device and then run it again. And once again, my goal here is just to make sure that I haven't broken anything. And once again, the app loads successfully displays the sample data. So now I have successfully moved my data to the view model and I'm ready for the next step, creating another coding layer that can determine where the data will come from.